Yo, what's up? Welcome back. You already know what it is. It's Wednesday night, so it's Sports Talk with KC time. It is 7 o'clock. A little past 7 o'clock. Sorry for the late start, man. Had to set up and take care of some other things before I got going for you guys tonight. You know how we do each and every night. We are going live from Facebook, YouTube, um, Spotify, and Apple tomorrow. We'll be ready tomorrow. But yes, we are live right now with Sports Talk with KC. I'm your host, KaRon, Casey Caddell. Um, you know how I do each and every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Bring you sports news, reviewing sports games from the weekend, Alabama football, things that matter. Tonight we're going to break down and review some of the NFL games for the past weekend, as well as Alabama unfortunate loss to Texas. But before we get started, please like, share, subscribe, as you say on your screen right now, to Titletown TV on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your podcast needs from, Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff, man. But let's get into today's show. All right. Game one of the NFL slate. Of course, we had the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Detroit Lions. Unfortunately, my Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Detroit Lions this last week to the Detroit Lions 21-20. It was a close game, fairly, especially seeing that we were short our great defensive tackle, Chris Jones, and also our all-pro future Hall of Famer, possibly the greatest tight end of all time, and Travis Kelce. That's up for debate. The greats have, spoken for him. So if you feel otherwise, the greats have spoken for him, such as Shannon Sharp. So, man, yeah, Travis Kelce is the man. We miss him dearly. Hopefully, he can come back at some point this season and give us a boost because we really need it, man. Pat Mahomes, you can tell, really missed his guy. Didn't really get in rapport with the young receivers, receiving core. We know how vital Travis is to Pat Mahomes' game. We know that without Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes doesn't have very much chemistry. He doesn't have a Tyreek Hill out there, a guy who he spent multiple years with. Of course, you got Scott Moore, MBS, a couple guys who've been around the last couple of seasons, but um, people like Travis Kelce having the chemistry with someone like that could take a quarterback a long way. That's why they try to get a lot of young quarterbacks, a great tight end, bring in a rookie receiver the same year he is, so they can grow together. And these two guys have grown together over the last few years, won multiple Super Bowls. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna make any excuses for that game, man. Travis Kelce, Pat Mahomes himself was 12-39, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, one pick, an interception, which was a pick six, of course, through Kadarius Toney's hands and took to the house, man. Detroit Lions took advantage of that moment. Kadarius Toney was a guy we really expected to be to lean on, to be able to lean on this season, and he hasn't came through so far. It's just week one. Hopefully, he gets better as time goes on. I really have a lot of faith in him. He was a first rounder out of Florida a couple years ago by the Giants. We traded for him last season. Of course, he won a Super Bowl with us, but we will really count on him for taking the next step, man. Still looking for a guy who can, I wouldn't say replace Tyreek Hill, but match that production, man. I know no guy in the NFL who is as fast as he is. There's some guys who close to where he is, but there's a lot of guys who aren't there yet. And I feel like with the combined receivers we got some playmakers that could possibly help us down the line in the future, like Rashee Rice out of MCU. Had a solid day Thursday. 3 receptions, 29 yards, and a touchdown. So that's pretty good for a rookie's first game. So hopefully we don't have to rely on Kadarius Toney that much. But this offseason, we will definitely count on him a lot. Saw a lot from him in mini camp and training camp or whatever. And it didn't go well for him. For the Lions, man, I'm not going to continue to talk about the loser of this game, but the Lions, so they played a pretty good game. Jared Goff for 22 for 35, had 253 yards and a touchdown. So technically, he outplayed Pat Mahomes. Not so many people said that, man. But this game was definitely on upset alert, upset watch. What's up to the chat, man? How you guys doing out there, man? But what I was saying about Jared Goff. Seems like he kind of has the Chiefs' number. Plays very well against them. Detroit is definitely one of those teams that feel like spoilers each and every season. That play spoiler each and every season, man. We saw what they did to Green Bay last season. They got some new running backs. We saw them trade DeAndre Swift to the Eagles. And now they have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. David Montgomery himself had 21 attempts for 74 yards and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs had 7 attempts for 42 yards. Not very much on the ground. Kind of, I wouldn't say every split carries, but Jahmyr Gibbs is really the guy who could you move in space, get the ball to him out of space, home run hitter. We see he did at Bama. Saw a lot of looseness from him. Especially with that back cut spin thing he did the other day. Quite a move he put on the defender. Amon St. Brown, one of the top receivers in the whole National Football League, had a solid day as well. 6 receptions for 71 yards. Josh Reynolds, a veteran who's been around for a while, had 4 receptions for 80 yards. Yeah, man. The Lions, they just played a really good game, man. I'm not really too mad. The way we came out this season is definitely not championship game worthy. Championship material. We can't continue to play this and expect a repeat. So we definitely got to clean things up next week. All right, on to the Giants. Probably the worst game statistically for the NFL. The Cowboys beat the Giants 40-0. You see that score and all, man, you think, oh man, the Cowboys offense went off. Oh man, the defense held, of course they held them scoreless or whatever, but like it wasn't the score doesn't tell the truth of the game, man. It was pretty bad, man. Even Dak Prescott wasn't on top of his game. He was 13 of 24, 143 yards. Tony Pollard had a decent game, had 14 carries for 7 yards, 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb had 4 receptions, 77 yards. So, but no touchdowns through the air. The Cowboy defense did make a lot of plays. That front seven had 7 sacks on Daniel Jones, 2 INTs. I think it might have been a pick 6, if I'm not mistaken. I knew it was definitely some forced fumbles in there somewhere. But yeah, man, Daniel Jones did not have a great game. Saquon Barkley didn't look like himself. You can tell that contract dispute was kind of holding him back. It was 12 for 51 yards. Dan Waller knew it required tight end by the Giants was they had 3 receptions and 36 yards. Decent showing, but we know he's much better than that. He's a top 5-10 tight end in the NFL. We all know he can do a lot better. Let's go back to the Super Bowl rematch from one of Tom Brady's last years in New England. Eagles versus the Patriots. The Eagles beat the Patriots 25-20. Jalen Hurts had a solid game, 22 attempts, 22 completions, 33 attempts, 107 yards, 1 touchdown. He was sacked 3 times, which isn't Eagle-like. I know we all make mistakes. No one's perfect, but he did get sacked 3 times. Ran the ball 3 times, had 9 attempts for 37 yards and 1 touchdown. It seems like the Eagles are going with a run back by committee with the way they move the ball in the backfield. Kenny Gainwell had 14 attempts, 54 yards. I think DeAndre Swift got some carries in there. Boston Scott got some carries. So that's 3 running backs. So maybe we don't see a Taylor Swift backfield. Maybe the Eagles don't don't need a guy like Jonathan Taylor, a guy who could be the best back in the league, a guy who we've shown time and time again can be the rushing leader of the league, a guy who coming out of Wisconsin was considered could possibly be one of the greatest backs of all time. But yes, man, the Eagles they beat the Patriots like they didn't need them. I mean, the Patriots, granted, isn't one of the better teams in the league, but they're coming. They're steady building. They got a solid quarterback. Got some quarterback play from Mac Jones, 35 for 54, 313 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's pretty good. 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, man. That's really good. Ramondre Stevens had 12 attempts, 25 yards, 6 catches, and 74 yards to tie for the lead on the team. This past game, Ezekiel Elliott had 7 attempts, a brand new Patriot who's finally on America's team. The Cowboys are not America's team. The Patriots, what they did in the 2010s and the mid 2000s, man, earned them right of being Patriot, being the American team. But yeah, let me keep moving. Kendrick Bourne had 6 receptions, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So their report's still really good for Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne, man. I'm glad to see that Mac Jones making some plays in the NFL. Let's move on to the Green Bay Packers and the Bears. The Packers beat the Chicago Bears 38-20, despite not having I wouldn't say star receiver just yet. The Patriots could be a contender. What drunk ass is that commented? Show your face. But yeah, man, I don't see them as a contender just yet, especially with the Dolphins winning, being the head honcho of the division. The Bills being super talented. I don't see them even winning the division. I don't consider a contender just yet. The Jets still around despite injury, which I'm going to talk about a little later. But yeah, I don't see them as a contender yet. But hey, man, maybe you're a fan and that's what you want to see. But yeah, man, after seeing the Patriots this weekend, I mean, anything can happen, man. Especially with the Jets probably taking a step back with Aaron Rodgers' injury. Hopefully, they can find a veteran to put that together because that defense is too damn good to not have a quarterback compete on offense for them. But back to the Green Bay game, Jordan Love got his first start ever as a Packer, man. Full season. It's him. He has the reign, man. Sat behind Aaron Rodgers for a few years, and now it's time to shine, man. That's what he did. He shined. 15 to 27, not bad. Completion rate a little over 50%. 245 yards. 3 touchdowns on the sack one time. So really good, man. They protecting the young quarterback as they should, man. That's one thing a young quarterback need, man. Weapons, protection, and faith, man. They put the faith in Jordan Love. They protect Jordan Love. They gave him some weapons. Even without Christian Watson playing this game, he played pretty well. Aaron Jones had a complete game, honestly. He had 9 attempts for 41 yards and 1 rushing touchdown, 2 receptions, 86 yards, really long 51-yard complete reception for a touchdown. It was really good. His counterpart, his running mate, A.J. Brown, had 13 carries on the ground. Big thumper, guy who can absorb a lot of tackles and rushes. Young tight end they drafted this past season. Luke Musgrave had 3 receptions for 50 yards. Romeo Dobbs had 2 touchdowns. All right. Justin Fields, man. Not a great day for him, man. He griped about not having enough weapons. They went out and got him DJ Moore for their first overall pick to the from the Panthers. Khalil Herbert looking like a solid back in the NFL. Darnell Mooney looks like he turning back the clock, looking like 2021. Darnell Mooney had 4 receptions, 53 yards, 1 touchdown. Fields himself had 216 yards, 1 touchdown, one interception. Was sacked 4 times, so he's still not getting protected like he should. Which hopefully they get off of the line for him ASAP. He shouldn't be at the run for his life like he has been. But he's on the ground, he's pretty deadly. Had 9 attempts for 59 yards. But yeah, man, the Packers steady got the Bears number, man. They haven't lost to the Bears in so long. And it's not going to change, man, for a while. I think Jordan Love is the future for the Packers. Christian Watson, once he gets back. Romeo Dobbs, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. That team is ready to compete right now, man, especially in the kind of a depleted NFC North, man. The Vikings still are just mid, haven't gotten the hump just yet. The Lions are really young, could compete for a lot. We'll see. They did beat the defending champs. And then the Bears, they've fallen off the wagon. So, man, the Packers, they've competed for, number 1 seeds of the in the playoffs. They got home field advantage and all things the last few years. And it seems like they're not going nowhere, man. They changed quarterbacks and they haven't missed a step. All right, moving on to the Raiders and Broncos. Raiders won 17-16. Pretty close game, man. Jimmy G played really well. 6 for 26, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did have 1 pick, sadly, but he wasn't sacked. That's really good for the Raiders, man. You guys keep it up. Jacoby Myers had 9 receptions, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mixed consistent. Devontae Adams had 6 receptions, 66 yards. Once Jimmy G and Devontae Adams get that report, man, down, we can see him and Jacoby Myers go for numbers. Do some crazy things, man, on the field. Russell Wilson, pretty average as usual. 27 for 32, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, had 2 sacks. Got sacked twice. Not ideal game for him. Very low scoring. We don't want to put him in a shootout as well because he does make a lot of mistakes. But if he dick and dunk, for a while and limited mistake, he could get back to the top 10, 15 quarterback in the league, man. So we'll see what he does in Broncos. Sean Payton, this is his first year. It was his first game. We'll hope for better. Javonte Williams, he's back from injury. Had 13 attempts, 52 yards. Another close game, 15-16 as well. Titans versus the Saints. Saints poured it out at the end, man. The Titans just couldn't score, bro. Their kicker was 5-5 on field goals, man. They had 15 points off field goals only. Ryan Tannehill looked atrocious, bro. Terrible. 16-34, 198 yards, 3 picks and 3 sacks. Yep, you heard it. 3 interceptions, 3 sacks. So I mean, it tells you a little bit of how it went bad for the Tennessee Titans, man. The Saints drove down late with the great pass from Derek Carr to Rashid Shaheed. Saints fan, correct me on how to pronounce his name, man. He had a great game too, man. Derek Carr was spreading the ball around the field, man. He was 23 for 33, 305 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Did get sacked 4 times. Got to clean it up, Saints fans. But I believe that you guys can be a lot better, especially in the division. You guys can definitely easily win the division. One of the worst divisions in all of the NFL. Kurt Olave continues to show why he's no more receiver down in New Orleans. 8 receptions, 112 yards. Shaheed, a guy I mentioned earlier who had a clutch play down towards the end of the game, had 5 receptions, 89 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael Thomas looked like he might be refreshed, man. 5 receptions, 61 yards, man. You can't really complain for a guy who hasn't played much the last 3 years. All right, man. Another game where you can't look at the score and be like, oh, man, Texans got their ass whooped again. No, man, like they really competed against the Ravens. They couldn't just like the last game. They couldn't put points on the board. They would add their sort of field goals. It was 9-25 to the Ravens. CJ Stroud had a great first game as a rookie. 28 44, 242 yards, 5 sacks, no touchdowns. Four attempts and 20 yards on the ground. Damian Pierce couldn't really get it going, just like much as the offense was 11 for 80 for 38 yards. Nico, just right, does have a couple receivers. You'd be like, man, he don't have any weapons. You got Nico Collins. He was 6 for 80 yards. Robert Woods, another veteran receiver, was 6 receptions, 57 yards. Tank Dale, a guy who is a rookie who's going to grow old in this offense and on this team with CJ Stroud. Tank Dale had 3 receptions, 34 yards. Decent game for a rookie receiver, man. Lamar Jackson himself didn't have his greatest game, but they pulled out a win. 17 to 22, 169 yards, 1 interception. We got sacked 4 times, man. Ravens, we've seen the O-line play much better than that. But there's a lot going on. J.K. Dobbins got hurt. Out for the rest of the season. Just like Aaron Rodgers was torn Achilles. Before he left, he did leave with a touchdown. But the future is bright for this Ravens offense, man. We got former MVP Lamar Jackson. Jay Flower looking like the real deal. He was 9 receptions for 78 yards. OBJ made a couple big plays. He was 2 for 37. So I mean, the future is bright for the Ravens offense, man. Of course, you got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely at tight end. This is a team I do think they should go after Jonathan Taylor. They didn't draft Bijan Robinson or trade up for BJ Robinson like a lot of people predicted or said they might. But yeah, man, I think they could trade for Jonathan Taylor and give Lamar Jackson a number 1 running back, a true number 1 running back, instead of constantly relying on J.K. Dobbins. He's never healthy. I can't blame him. I counted on him too. I thought he was going to have a great season. I picked him up as my fantasy running back for one of my leagues, man, and it hasn't gone well for us, obviously. So if you're in the league, you know who you are, man. If y'all want to trade me a back, bro, let me know. I might throw in a decent player. But yeah, man. Next up, we got the Jaguar versus Colt in division rivalry. The Jaguar, man, they looking good, bro. They're looking good. They're looking real good, man. Calvin really came back for the first time in over a year after being suspended last season due to gambling. I'm not getting into all that, but it's not what it's about. He had 8 receptions for 101 yards. A lot of that happened in the first half. So good job, Calvin, man, for rebounding, looking refreshed, looking renewed, happy to like he missed football. Like he really wanted to be out there again. I'm so happy for him. Of course, he's a Bama receiver, man. Can't take that from Trevor Lawrence is steady adding on to his young resume, man. Had a solid game, 24 for 32, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 reception. 1 interception. Travis Etienne, his former Clemson Tiger buddy, 100 had 18 rushes for 77 yards, 1 touchdown. Hey man, we don't just talk about the winners of the game, man. The Colts had a solid game as well. Anthony Richardson was 24 for 37, 233 yards. I'm not sure who played better, him or CJ Stroud. I guess we'll go with AR5 now. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had a touchdown, so I'll give the edge over CJ Stroud right now. It's rookie quarterbacks. Did a little bit on the ground, had 10 rushes for 40 yards, 1 touchdown. We know what he can do with his legs. We know what he can do outside of the pocket. And then Michael Pittman Jr. Had 8 receptions, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. I'm glad that Anthony Richardson has found his number one receiver. He's been there for a while. Knows that system very well. Knows Indianapolis very well. So having a guy like Michael Pittman on their roster helps a young guy a ton. All right, man. Bengals fans, strap up. Um, not Eagles fan. LSU fans, strap up, man. Joe Burrow did not have his greatest game, which led to Bengals losing 3-24 to the Cleveland Browns. And it's nothing we're not used to, man. It seems like Joe Burrow does not play very well against the Browns. They just had a recipe to stopping him, man. He was 14 for 31, which is not great at all. 82 yards, got sacked twice. Didn't get much from the run game. Joe Mixon only had 56 yards. Jamar Chase, their number one receiver, didn't play like a number one receiver. Had 5 receptions, 39 yards. Honestly, man, I wouldn't even say like this kind of karma, but like seeing them come out and say the T. Higgins is not getting extended, they're too far apart on a contract. T. Higgins is a baller. We've seen what he can do, man. Keep those receivers together. Keep Joe Burrow happy with those receivers, man. That's all you can do when you have a young quarterback like that. I know he has done a lot already, led his team to the Super Bowl, nearly winning in just his second season. First full season at that. Last season played great. Went fairly deep in the playoffs. So, man, keeping Joe around, keeping Joe happy, it should be no one priority for them. But, yeah, man, that's a lot of sleep on the Browns, though, man. They put up 24 on a solid Bengals defense, man. Chubb as always. Nick Chubb was, himself. 18 carries, 106 yards. Sean Watson, I guess he's still getting acclimated to that Browns offense, but looks much improved, much better. Got in space on some runs, man. Was 5 rushes for 45 yards, 1 touchdown. Was 16 for 29, 154 yards and a touchdown. So yeah, man. Deshaun Watson, great to see him back at the start of the season. He was one of my favorite quarterbacks when he was in Houston, man. I know he kind of wasted his talent or whatever by not making very far in the playoffs or constructing a legit team around him. Had Bill O'Brien as a head coach, which went terribly. Traded a guy like DeAndre Hopkins to the Cardinals, man. Just a lot went wrong in the last few years in Houston, man. But Watson has turned around with the Browns. We know what he did off the field, which is just very disgusting. But, we're here to talk about football. We're not here to talk about politics and people going to jail and all that other crazy stuff. But yeah, man, one of the wildest games I've ever watched. Bills losing to the Jets 16-22, man, in overtime on a losing pick 6. I don't think I've ever said that, but yes, Josh Allen threw one of 3 interceptions he threw to Jordan Whitehead. He took it to the house. To close out his game, Josh Allen was 29 for 41. It was one of his very few mistakes in his game, man. Along with those 3 interceptions, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, was sacked 5 times. So Bills get the offensive line together. He's the reason why they lost, but I guarantee you, if you keep him upright more than 5 times and help limit to those mistakes in the passing game, Josh Allen would have played much better. But hey, man, Stephon Diggs, man, despite not really wanting to be in the Buffalo, still doing this thing. Had 10 receptions, 102 yards, 1 touchdown. James Cook had 12 rushes for 46 yards. Running back isn't their biggest need, but honestly, I would explore a trade with the Colts for Jonathan Taylor. Maybe Stephon Diggs. Give Anthony Richardson a young number one receiver, man. Truly believing in him, and go all in. Could be a possibility for the Colts, and then for the Bills, man, give him a stud running back. I know replacing Stephon Diggs is going to be very hard. They did do something like that, but that's just an idea throwing out there. Speaking of replacing people, they're just going to have to replace a guy like Aaron Rodgers, man. Like I said earlier in the show, their defense is way, way too good for them to be relying on a guy like Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is not ready to lead that team to Super Bowl. And that team, that defense at least is Super Bowl ready. They got some receivers. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson had a solid game, 5 receptions, 34 yards. Looked like his old self despite not having the quarterback to throw it to him. Looked like himself from last year. Breece Hall looks like he's not giving up that number 1 running back spot. Had 13 attempts, 33 yards. 10 attempts, 127 yards. Dalvin Cook had 13 attempts, 33 yards. Adam can switch. But yeah, man, Aaron Rodgers is now out with a torn Achilles. This is not how anyone saw this season going for him. Was hoping that, he take it just a long way. He gets new life in New York, man. Hopefully it's not the last time we see of him. He had a great career, won an MVP last few years. All those great things he done in his life, a former Super Bowl champion. But yeah, man, I have 3 quarterback options for you guys. 1, Tom Brady, give him a call. At least try. If he says no, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. Number 2, crap. My mind just went completely blank. Who do I have up there right now? Crap. But yeah, man, it's some quarterback options out there. My mind cannot think of it right now. But yeah, man, that you need someone who could deliver and really play with those receivers and that defense, man. They're too good. That backfield's loaded with Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, man. So Tom will be my first call, and then there's some quarterbacks still out there on the street who could be called. Maybe I call him Kaepernick, just mess around. He's been out the game for a long time now. But there's Cam Newton. He has a great podcast show, which I wish I know for a fact he'd probably rather be on an NFL team right by now. Maybe a Sam Darnold, a guy from the 49ers who y'all can bring back in, former 3rd overall pick you guys drafted. He didn't have those weapons or that defense when he played there, so give him another shot. Why not? I'm sure who else is around the league. They can possibly go with Teddy Bridgewater is sitting behind Jared Goff in Detroit right now. We'll see, especially with Hendon Hooker's development and his recovery. However that goes is going to determine what they do with Teddy. But yeah, man, put in the comment section who you would like the Jets to get a quarterback to save their season. Or it just hope for Zach. I was a fan of him coming out of college. Reminded me a lot of Johnny Manziel on the field. Maybe off the field too. He had a little swagger about him too, but really good player coming out of BYU. All right. One of the upsets this weekend, I guess it wasn't a great upset, but the Buccaneers beat the Vikings 20-17. Baker Mayfield was 21 of 34, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. Was only sacked 1 time. Yes, I look at those stats. Those stats are very important. Rashad White was 17 of 39. Didn't get much from the run game. Mr. Consistent Mike Evans had 6 receptions, 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Chris Godwin was 5 of 51. That duo is still deadly. As for the Vikings, Kirk Cousins was my starting quarterback for one of my leagues. Had 33 of 44 for 344. God, that was a ton of yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked twice. That one costing mistake did hurt them. They probably could have won the game if he didn't throw that pick. Jay Jettas 9 for 50 yards, 150 yards. Jordan Addison, the guy who they selected in the first round, was 4 receptions, 61 yards, 1 touchdown in his debut. Those losses on the Minnesota defense show, yes, it did show, man, a lot, especially that secondary. That secondary is atrocious, man. They need to get some playmakers back there. Young Pat Peterson is not back there no more, man. They definitely need to figure out how to way to cover somebody. You losing to Baker Mayfield, man, it's not great at all. T.J. Hockenson was 8 for 35. All right. All right. Dolphin Charger, which was a really good game, man. 34-34, 36-34. Dolphins win. Tua had a great game. Him and Tyreek Hill, man. There's nothing they could do. Yes, that loss of Zadarius Smith. Wow. Yes, only getting 1 sack on Baker Mayfield. Wait, that's not what it was. Definitely hurt that game. The Vikings. Tua is tribal chief. Yes, man. The way he balled out, man, those 3 touchdowns, 466 yards, man. Only had 1 mistake, no sacks at all, bro. Tua did ball out, bro. Tyreek Hill was 11 for 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. From what I hear, his goal this year is 2,000. If he keep this up, he will blow it out the water, man. Jalen Water, let's not forget about him either. Had 4 receptions, 78 yards. But yeah, man, all the attention was on Tyreek tonight, man. 15 targets, 11 receptions. Yes, he did his big one. But let's talk about the Chargers, man. They only lost by 2. They have a solid team, man. I really love Justin Herbert. He was one of my favorite young quarterbacks, man. He was 23 of 33, 220 yards, 1 touchdown. Was sacked 3 times. That Dolphins defense is much better than giving up 34 points to the Chargers. We know they did to upgrade their secondary with Jalen Ramsey, already having Xavier Howard on one side. Yeah, man, that front 7 is pretty good. Cheetah is a cheat code. Waddle should be good for many years. Yes. Yes, sir. Austin Eckler was 16 for 117 yards, 1 touchdown. Joshua Kelly was 16 carries, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. Damn, Dolphins, you got to run over me. Y'all got to fix that. They ran the ball over y'all. That's 200, over 200 yards between 2 backs. That's crazy. Allen, like he's found in youth, 6 receptions, 76 yards. When Ramsey returns healthy, that D gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, but can they stop getting ran on? They allowed 200 yards to running backs, over 200 yards. All right. Hopefully it's the last one again. I kind of want to squeeze in a little Bama talk. Talk about their loss to Texas. And things we need to fix before South Florida this weekend. Before we continue to blow this video up. Please continue to comment. Watch this on YouTube. Get my YouTube views up. Just like, share, subscribe, and Title Town TV on the platforms. We're gonna see they better. Facts. Get that run defense together, man. We know y'all can stop the run. I mean, stop the pass. We need y'all to stop the run. All right. Is this the last game? Oh, Rams Seahawks. Rams won 30-13. Didn't watch very much of this game. Let's get into a little stats. 31-13. Oh, Geno Smith didn't play well at all, man. Like his 2022 self, man. It's kind of he's back to earth after having a comeback play of the year type season. Had 16 of 26, 112 yards, one touchdown, was sacked twice. The offensive line was better than that. Some games they don't allow sacks at all, but the offensive line will get better. Kenneth Walker, 12 for 64 yards, coming off injury now. DK was 3 for 47 yards, one touchdown. Rams, Matt Stafford back in the building, man, with 24-38, 134 yards, no touchdown, unfortunately. No Cooper Kupp this game. They got some young receivers make some plays. Tutu Atwell had 109 yards, 6 receptions. Nakua, I think how you say his name, 2 receptions, 119 yards as well. So the Rams got some young receivers that can do a little something while Coop is gone. Falcons Panthers next up. I think that's the last game before we get into Bama. What was you guys' game of the weekend? That's my question for you guys. If I had to go one off the top of my head, probably have to go with Dolphins Chargers really good. If you look for a high scoring game to go back and watch. Eagles Patriots. The way the Saints won was pretty cool to watch. Them marching down the way Derek Carr drew up the play, knew who he was throwing to before the play, and laid at the sideline. Like, shit was cool, man. I live for plays like that. Me as an analyst, I definitely live for plays like that. Bryce Young in his first game was 20 for 38, 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 2 sacks. The offensive line is going to get a lot better. I believe in them. They have drafted some guys early recently and should turn the corner. Miles Sanders was 18 for 72. Sherbert Herbert was 9 for 60. So you got a decent backfield from Bryce Young to hand it off to. Hayden Hurst had 5 receptions, 41 yards, and 1 touchdown. Falcons, Desmond Ridder for 15 for 18. Pretty efficient, 115 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, which is a great number for a young quarterback. 4 sacks, though. 4 sacks. Tyler Algier had 15 rushes for 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson in his first NFL game had 10 attempts, 56 yards, no touchdowns. Kyle Pitts, 2 for 44. Hopefully we'll go back to his Pro Bowl season. He did a couple years ago. Drake London got targeted one time, but after that was absent. But yes, man, that's what the NFL slate for you guys today. We talked about it, reviewed it. Please let me know who your favorite game was from this weekend, and also predict a game from this weekend slate. Who's going to win, the over and under, things that matter. Let's get into Alabama football. It's going to be a tough game to go back and live through, man. It was pretty hard to watch, man. Bama made some great plays. Texas made some even better plays, man. As I can say, the better team won. I'm not hating. I'm not mad at all. I do hate how our students treated the Texas sideline. A video has gone viral of some students telling the black Texas players to go back to the hood, to the projects or whatever like that. That's not okay. It's not cool, bro. Can we not be like that in 2023, bro? That's all I had to speak on that. But Texas beat us 34-24. And it's really a solid game, man. Bama had some touchdowns called back, did some things that were out of character, had some big penalties that cost us the game, man. All line was not that great. Jalen Miro was sacked 5 times. He made some mistakes as well. He did have 2 interceptions. I will give it to him. But I feel like if he kept him more upright and did all we could to protect him, get open, he would have made a lot better plays. My biggest critique of his game, he did walk down a lot of receivers. He was constantly staring down his receivers. Made it obvious where he was going with the ball. He could fix that in his game as one of the first. And he does have to hold the ball to the ball a little bit too long for my liking, which comes with the running quarterback. They try to make plays with their legs and eventually, get the ball out of their hands, through the air. But, you got to pick and choose when you're going to do that, man. Be better by your decision, throw the ball away, take a sack. You scrambling 10, 15, 20 yards past the line of scrimmage, bro. It's not helping you winning games. Outside that, man, he was 14 for 27, 255 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did a little bit on the ground, 15 rushes, 44 yards. Kobe Prentice, a guy who was high on coming to the season, had 5 receptions, 68 yards. Jeremiah Burton had a solid game, 2 receptions, 58 yards, 1 touchdown. Should have been 2, 1 got called back. Not Black was 2 for 45 yards, 1 touchdown. Running backs, they was hit and miss, man. When they were on, they were on. When they were bad, man. Jason Keller had a solid game, 12 rushes for 45 yards. Quentin Ayers, man, I was hoping to see a little Arch Manning. I was hoping we'd talking about the game again this year, but Quentin Ayers finished his game and finishes off. Was 24 of 38, 349 yards, 3 interceptions, no picks, no sacks. That's what happens when you protect the quarterback. You get open for him. You give him multiple weapons, and didn't get very much from the run game. You know what I'm saying? They ran when they could. They got a rushing touchdown. Got a couple guys with double-digit carries. Brooks had 57 yards. Baxter had 31 yards. A lot of drops, which is uncharacteristic for Texas players, man. Xavier Worthy dropped a touchdown pass. He had 1 in the game, but he could have had 2. Dropped a wide open touchdown pass from Quentin Ayers. That big, fast, physical tight end they got is Jamar Sanders was really good, man. Had 5 receptions, 114 yards. Mitchell, another receiver, had 3 catches, but had 2 touchdowns, 78 yards. Whittington, senior receiver, had 3 receptions, 44 yards. Yeah, man, it was a great game by Texas, man. The better team won. They outplayed us, outcoached us. They did their thing, man. I can't do nothing but respect Texas, the Texas Longhorn, man. Can't wait to see what they do the rest of the season. Hopefully, this catapults them into the college football playoffs, help them, win the Big 12, things that matter, man. Bama, they will bounce back next week against South Florida, and then back at home for Ole Miss, man. Hopefully, they turn it around. We're open for a good turnaround for them for the Crimson Tide, man. But this is all I got for you guys tonight, man. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a like. If you want to know where to find me at, please find me at TitletownTV_KC on all other social media platforms, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Been posting a lot of TikToks recently. Please go check them out, like them, run up those views, man, so I can get famous and rich. No, that's not what I do it for, man. I love sports. You guys know that. And I appreciate you guys talking with me tonight, man. I couldn't have done this show without you guys. Just like any other show that comes on Town TV programming. We can't do it without our live audience, man. So give yourself a pat on the back, clap, whatever. I love you guys, man. Keep being great, man. Get better each and every day, man. Like the Mamba used to say, bro. Please be on the lookout for Town Wrestling tomorrow. Hopefully, we get to shoot tomorrow. Got some things to talk about in wrestling. The UFC WWE merger is official. This past Monday night was Vince McMahon last night in charge. Becky Lynch winning the NAT women's title last night. Man, we got some things to talk about tomorrow, man. If you're interested in that, please watch us tomorrow on my page as well as the Town Wrestling page. Please follow my brothers, man. Lamar Pullum, TK Jackson, Jalen Davis, Tony Washington, Jose Dunn. Watch their content, really good content. You'll see my face on there. They on our content and platform, man. You guys have a great night. Good night, man. Peace.